Welcome to Solutions Studio. This is a free series on C programming language. If you like these videos, please subscribe to follow along with this series. Also, please like and leave a comment and share the video to help spread this series. Welcome to the very first episode on this series. In this video, we are going to set up and install the integrated development environment for C programming language on your computer so that we can start coding. Go to this address on SourceForge and download the Div C++ for Windows 10, 8 or 7. Let's go and download it. Once the program is downloaded, go to the downloaded folder and extract this program. Now go to the folder and install this program. Select the full type of installation and click Next. Now let's click Finish and Div C++ is going to be launched. Now Div C++ is successfully installed on your computer. That's it for this episode. I will see you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode, let's go and create our first program. I'll go to the File menu and we'll create a new source file. I will start with a hash include integer main parenthesis void curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets I will write printf, again parenthesis, double quote, and inside the double quote I will write welcome to C \n, and at the end of this line I will add a semicolon. This is our code. Now let's go and save this code. I will name it my first program. The type of file is going to be a C source file. Save it, and now let's go and run it. This is the result of our program. Welcome to C. Going on in the next episodes, I'm going to explain the code for you. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. That's all for this video. If you want to show your... Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode we want to add a few comments to our already written program. The purpose of having comments is to document a program and also improve the program readability. Comments do not cause the computer to perform any actions when you execute the program. They are simply ignored. Comments can be written using double slashes. Now let's go and execute this program with the comments added. You can see that there is no changes even when the comments are added. As we said before, comments are always ignored and it has no impact on the program. That's it for this episode. I hope to see you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. We have two types of comments. Single line comments, as we have written in the previous episode, and multi-line comments. Let's go and add some multi-line comments to this program. Multi-line comments start with a forward slash and an asterisk. And we end the multi-line comment with an asterisk and a forward slash. Let's go and execute this program. You can see that comments do not cause the computer to perform actions when you execute the program. They are simply ignored, and the purpose of them is to have documentations for the program and improve program readability. That's it for this episode. I hope to see you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode, let's go and talk about this line. The include stdio.h is a C preprocessor directive. That means that this line is handled before the compilation of this program. This line of code tells the preprocessor to include the content of the standard input-output header to this program. The standard input-output header is a file containing information that the compiler uses to ensure that you correctly used the standard input-output library functions such as printf. So the printf is one of the functions in the standard input-output library and it's directly related to that header. Now let's go and make this line a comment so that it's not included in the execution of the program. Now execute the program. You can see that I have got a few lines of warning. That's because I have not properly declared the printf. This was just a short explanation of preprocessor directive, and rest assured we will cover it in more details in the coming episodes. Just make sure that you correct your program once again and save it. That's it for this episode. I hope to see you in the... You can see that in our first program we have a few lines that are blank, such as line 3, line 7, line 9, 12, 13 and more. These blank lines, they are known as white space and they don't have any effect on the program. Having more white space doesn't change anything in the program, so we can add more lines or remove lines. Lines are basically for readability and helps you make the program readable and easy to understand. We can also add more space between each word. Let's add more space, 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 and more space. And as such, there can be more space. And all of these spaces are considered blank space. Let's go and run the program. You can see that our program hasn't changed a bit. It's because blank space doesn't have any effect on the program. Now let's close this program and go and add some spaces between the quotes. Now let's go and run the program. You can see that there is some added space between the text. If we add blank space in between quotes, it always has an effect on the program. The quotes in this program is an indicator of a string. An added white space in a string make a difference for the string. But let's not focus on that too much, and just remember that white space doesn't have any effect on the program. That's it for this episode. See you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. The highlighted line of code is a part of every C program. The parenthesis after the word main indicates that main is a function. And C programs are usually consists of functions, which one of them is main. Every program starts executing with the main function. It's also a good practice that we have a comment for every function for what it does, such as functions can return information. The word integer or int to the left of main indicates that main returns an integer. We will explain later what it means for a function to return a value. For now, simply include the keyword int to the left of main in each of your program. Functions can also receive information when they are called to be executed. The word void in parentheses here means that main does not receive any information. Later on in the coming episodes, we will show examples of main receiving information. A left brace means that the body of the function has started, and a corresponding right brace means that the function's body has ended. The braces and the portion of the program between them is called a block, an important program unit that we will discuss more in later videos. That's it for this episode. If you have any questions about main, let me know in the comments section below and I would be very happy to answer it for you. The highlighted line instructs the computer to perform an action. And what is that action? That action is to display on the screen the string of characters that are enclosed in the quotation marks. A string is sometimes called a character string, a message, or a literal, and it's usually enclosed in a quotation mark. The entire line of the program, including the printf function and all of the arguments inside of printf, is called a statement. And every statement must end with a semicolon. The semicolon is called a statement terminator. The F in the printf stands for formatted. So when the line 8 executes, it displays the message "Welcome to C" on the screen. The characters usually print as they appear between the double quotes, but notice that the character /n was not displayed. We will talk about that later in the next episodes. In line 8, inside the printf and inside the string, the backslash is called an escape character. It shows that printf should do something out of the ordinary. In a string, the compiler combines a backslash with the next character to form an escape character. The next character in here is n, So the escape sequence /n means new line. When printf encounters a new line in a string, it positions the output cursor to the beginning of the next line. Now let's go and execute this program. You can see that the next line for this program is in here. And there's a blank line in this program. Now let's go and remove /n and run the program once again. You can see that the blank line is removed now. And that's how an escape character works. Always indent the entire body of each function one level of indentation. That is 4 spaces. One, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Or you can use the Tab key on your keyboard to create the indentation. For me, the editor is creating the indentation by itself. So when I press Enter on my keyboard, the indentation automatically happens. It's recommended that you set a convention for the indentation size that you prefer, and you always uniformly apply that convention for your code. The Tab key may be different from one editor to another. It may be 3 spaces or 4 spaces or 5 spaces depending on the editor. That's it for this episode. See you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode we want to print the same message using multiple printf statements. So let's get started. Here I want to break down this message and print it using 2 printfs instead of 1. So for the first one I will remove this part and only have the welcome part. And then on the next line I will have another printf statement. And I will add the remaining part of my message. And at the end of this statement, don't forget the semicolon. Now let's go and execute this program. You can see that I still have the same message printed using 2 printfs. That means that when using printf, if we want to add multiple lines, we need to use the escape characters. Merely having many printf statements doesn't change anything about the message. That's it for this episode. See you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode. In this episode, let's go and remove one of the printf statements and have multiple lines using only 1 printf statement. So let's go and delete this part and create the remaining part of the message. Now I want to have multiple lines on the message, and for that I can add multiple escape characters /n for new line. Let's remove the additional space in here, and instead of the space I want to have a new line, and in here as well. Now let's go and execute this program and see the results. Now you can see that I have multiple lines using only one printf statement. So basically the idea is that using only one printf, you can have many type of manipulations on the string or the text. And that's it for this episode. I hope to see you in the next episode.